Speaker.
Stephen Browning.
And I rise to speak to the Geographical Indications Wine and Spirits Registration Amendment Bill. And so I come from Marlborough. I'm pleased to hear that there's wine industry people above me there, and very, very keen to see this bill passed. It's an interesting one, however, that while we acknowledge the provenance that is behind this bill, the absolute issue of markets recognising where stuff comes from, the paddock to plate type scenario, we actually need to support this all the way. So we actually need to be sure that the product that we're going to put name to actually will not negatively impact the reputation of the regions that we will be using the names of. And what I'm referring to is the issue of big pesticide use, labour issues, and other social aspects that go with the industrialisation of the wine industry in my region, where we're having eels, kinna, killed in a stream, 200 of them recently, probably by glyphosate spraying. Was it the council? Was it from adjacent overseas owned vineyards? If we're going to, and we must go down this track, but we must clean up the act of the wine industry around it. There's some really good news stuff around from the wine industry too, and that is that they want to be 20% organic by 2020. And that is a step in the direction of cleaning up some of the reputation that they've had before. And Stuart Smith made chortle. But this spring, and I've said it in the House before, and I've said it to the industry before, this spring, just as in 2007, when the member over there that's chortling had 100% vineyard herbicide coverage in spring to crank up his soil temperatures, using a non-sustainable method, but that can get sustainable wine growing tick. It is nuts. There is nothing sustainable about doing 100% of your surface area with herbicide every spring. And of course we know that we've got herbicide resistance with ryegrass in Marlborough from repeated spraying. So I support this. Our party is going to support this. But our reputation in our markets is not through bulk pesticide and herbicide spraying. I know there's work done to make sure that there's little, if any, residues of pesticides in the sprays, and it's important that we make sure the products going to market are as clean as possible. They can be cleaner, and so can the environment in my region, where we have tuna dying from pesticides, where we're getting spray resistance from herbicides, where we have a lot of people getting sick, but we can't quite put the finger on why. The pesticides invariably used are carcinogenic, or probable carcinogens, as the WHO says for glyphosate. Others are endocrine disruptors, neurotoxins. We can improve the health of my region, Hawke's Bay, the other regions where we're growing a lot of grapes, and that's a fantastic industry. It's doing us proud at the moment in terms of economic benefit. But it needs to convert to a lot better than the so-called sustainable wine growing that is actually almost a crock of the proverbial. Yes, it's integrated pest management, and it's not calendar spraying every 2 weeks or whatever. There's a certain level of monitoring and decision-making around it, but it's the choice of what products are used when there is a pest outbreak. It's an issue of what systems are being used.
The member's time has concluded.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We'll be supporting this. We're just looking for the industry to